Happy game day, ladies and gentlemen. The Baltimore Ravens look to complete the season sweep tonight over the AFC North rival Cincinnati Bengals, and they get to do it on prime time football in M&T Bank Stadium. I could not be more excited. We're here today on Ravens Rundown to get you caught up on everything you need to know about tonight's matchup against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. But before we do that, I took a look back at the preview I made for Week 5 when last time we played Cincinnati. That one got 147 likes, okay? Pretty good. Not great. We're looking to get better, okay? So I want 200 likes on today's video. If that challenge is not enough, I got a simple question. Like the video if you're excited to see these new uniforms tonight. So if you're excited to see the Purple Rising uniforms, go ahead and show me in the comment section by liking the video. Okay, let's start with a little bit of an injury update. This one for Eric All Jr., the Cincinnati Bengals, second string tight end right behind Mike Gesicki, tore his ACL against the Las Vegas Raiders. He on the year had 20 receptions, 158 yards, 28 yards was his longest. 6'5", 255-pound tight end. Again, big loss for that team who, has kind of gone in and out of healthy with their pass catchers. But anyway, big loss for Cincinnati. But their loss is kind of our gain. Let's get into the keys of victory. I'm not going to say anything more about that. All right, number one, you got to get Derrick Henry more involved. And it's easy to look at his stat sheet against Cincinnati the last time that we played them, and it's easy to say, what are you talking about, Joey? 15 carries, 92 yards, 6.1 yards per carry, and a touchdown. What do you mean he wasn't that involved? But if you look a little bit deeper and you take away overtime where he broke that enormous runoff, and I know you can't just take away a part of the game, but if you just look at it in 4 quarters, he had 11 carries for 30 yards. His lowest yardage and yards per carry in 2024, okay? So they did a really good job at holding him together, better than any team has done so far in 2024. They were able to do that against Derrick Henry in regulation. Now, you eventually wore at them, and he broke a big one in overtime, and, set us up to ice the game. So kudos to him, but you got to get him more involved, okay? Only having 11 carries in 4 quarters is not good enough, okay? So that's what I'm looking at. But I got a question for you before I talk about Derrick Henry a little bit more. Do you think he hits over 100 rushing yards against Cincinnati? You saw it last time. He had 92 yards, including overtime. Do you think he hits the over on 100 rushing yards? If you think so, type O. If you don't think so, type U. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. YouTube's about to throw you an ad break, so take advantage of that time by going and answering our pinned question. An interesting little stat I found. The Bengals are not that great at they let up a lot of yards more than they should. Okay, yards after contact over expected. That's what this is. And they've let up 164 on the season. And Derrick Henry has 398 at the season. So what that tells me is Derrick Henry is very good at breaking tackles, and the Cincinnati Bengals aren't very good at bringing down the ball carrier. And if you need more proof at how good Derrick Henry is at breaking tackles, Next Gen Stats tweeted this out after the game against Denver. Derrick Henry totaled 106 yards on 23 carries against the Broncos, forcing 13 missed tackles. Tied for the most missed tackles forced in a game this season. He's counted for 2 of the top 3 games in missed tackles forced on the ground this season. So that's what I'm looking for. Can he make those guys miss? Because he's good at making guys miss, and they're not great at bringing guys down at the first sign, okay? And so that's what I'm looking for. Get him more involved. Let him go off, and that's just going to help this offense operate in this team run. Okay, if you want to not help their offense operate, I suggest you stop Jamar Chase. Please, for the love of God, stop Jamar Chase. Because if you look at what he did against the Ravens last time these two teams faced off, boy, oh boy, was he unreal. 10 receptions, 193 yards, 19.3 yards per catch, and 2 touchdowns. And if you look at NFL Pro, Jamar Chase's game against the Baltimore Ravens is the highest rated game from a wide receiver in 2024, okay? So you got to stop him. You got to take him away because he's a weapon. T. Higgins is a weapon as well, but behind those two guys, it's like a lot of, okay. You got Andre Sovius, and then you got just a bunch of dudes behind those guys, okay? And so you got to make those other guys beat you. I can live with those other guys beating you, okay? Even if it is T. Higgins. What I can't live is seeing Jamar Chase yet again get 10 receptions for 193 yards and 2 touchdowns. I can't see that again. I refuse to see that again, okay? And this pass defense, we've talked ad nauseum about how not great they've been so far this year. They've let up a lot of really good wide receiver performances. Rashee Rice, 7 receptions, 103 yards. Devontae Adams, 110 yards. Jamar Chase, 193. Cedric Tillman, 99, 2 tuds. This last week, Sunday, against Denver, Cortland Sutton, 7 receptions, 122 yards, okay? So this defense will let some wide receivers do some big things against them. I just can't see them. I can't watch them do it for Jamar Chase again. That's going to make me want to pull my hair out. I can promise you that. And if you want to see me possibly pull my hair out tonight, I hope not, against the Cincinnati Bengals, we will be live tonight starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Game time kicks off at 8:20, and so come hang out with us, okay? Hit the subscribe button if you aren't already. We're live for every single game. They're an absolute blast. We're live an hour and 20 before throughout the entirety of it all, and then we'll get a little post-game coverage as well. So we will be live tonight. Come hang out for some Thursday night football. And you know, there's really only one excuse if you're not going to be there. That's if you're actually at the game. And if you want to go to the game, you still got time for kickoff. I suggest you use our friends over at Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats at the lowest prices guaranteed. And if you're so excited that football season is finally here in full swing, I promise you, you're going to want to give Game Time a shot. Game Time has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks, and that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The tool highlights the best deals, including great and amazing deals, which are the highest value seats at the time. For some events, Game Time Picks also identifies a super deal, which is the highest seat value in the venue. Guys, I've already talked about those Purple Rising uniforms, and I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit jealous I don't get to see them in person. But if you do want to go see them in person, again, you got to use our friends at Game Time. Make it so easy. They got the games listed there. Then you click into the ticket. You see like the stadium overview. You click that Game Time Picks button. It finds you the best seats. Then you get the views from your seats. And then bada bing, bada boom. You're checking out. And we give you a code because we're so nice here. Chat Sports, $20 off your first purchase. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. Okay, Lamar's got to be on target. He's got to be on target. And part of why I say this is because he was so on target the last time you played Cincinnati. I mean, look at that passing chart, right? Especially because the 2 games before this, Dallas and Buffalo, he wasn't asked to do this, okay, against those guys. And then he came out and was absolutely automatic, especially in that second half when he needed him most. And then in the intermediate, he was 10 for 15, 174 yards, and a touchdown. Intermediate passes anything from 11 yards to 19 yards. Okay, so just from that first down to 20-yard gain, that range, he was on the money, 66% completion percentage. So you're going to need that out of him again. Now, a little bit of credit for the offensive line because when they played Cincinnati last, they were really great. He had 47 dropbacks, only was sacked 1 time, and the Cincinnati Bengals blitzed at a 42.6% rate. That's 14% higher than their average rate this season. And he still had 3.31 seconds to throw. So some kudos to the offensive line for it. But when Lamar is on fire, this offense thrives, okay? And I know that is so redundant to say that about the 2-time MVP and arguably the best quarterback in the game right now. But guys, it's true. Not only because it lets guys like Derrick Henry do what he does because it opened up the run game more, but it lets guys like Zay Flowers absolutely cook. And Zay cooked against Denver. 5 receptions, 127 yards, 25.4 yards per reception, and 2 touchdowns. And you need Lamar to be accurate because every game so far that he hasn't been that accurate, this team's ended up losing. Okay, I don't think that's a good stat. Okay, we've already looked at this and it was in a negative light, but this just sheds even more light on the fact that, you know what, he's got to be the best he can, because anytime he has a sub 102 rating, this team's 0-3 this year. Okay, and last year when he had sub 102 rating, they were 7-4. So you don't have as much wiggle room with this defense to have as poor games. Okay, and we know Cincinnati can put up a lot of points because they did it to you last time. My last key to victory, number 4. You got to tame Trey Hendrickson, because he's a guy that has the ability to absolutely take over a game, and he just did it on Sunday against Las Vegas. 4 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and 7 quarterback hits. And if you look at the stat sheet, right, those are great, but if you look a little bit deeper, he generated pressures, 10 of them, and a career-high 4 sacks on 30 pass rushes against Las Vegas. The highest single-game pressure rate in 2024 for him with 33%, okay? And if you look a little bit deeper about where he likes to line up and where he's been, heading into their game on Sunday against Las Vegas, he lined up on the right edge, 93.4% of snaps. So that's right above our guy, Mr. Ronnie Stanley, okay? And so let's look at last time he played Baltimore, because you held him in check pretty much for the most part. Didn't have a sack, quarterback pressure rate of 29.6. So nothing crazy. Time to pass, Lamar had time to pressure is 3.04 seconds. And quick quarterback pressure, so any pressures under 3 seconds, he didn't have a single one of them. And a lot of that is because of the way that Ronnie Stanley's been playing so far this season, okay? I got to give a shout out to him, and also as well as the entire offensive line, because I can't tell you how much they got shit on in the offseason, and they've been phenomenal so far. Ronnie Stanley's ranked 17th out of 77 tackles in the NFL, Pro Football Focus. His overall grade is 75.1. His pass blocking grade is at 85.4. I cannot say much more about Ronnie Stanley. Like, he's been phenomenal. He's been one of the big reasons this offense has been clicking the way that they have. He's been one of the big reasons Lamar's been able to do the things he's been able to do, because he's had the time. And I need him to step up tonight against Trey Hendrickson and make him not a factor, okay? That's it. End of story. So what's my score prediction, okay? This is my favorite part of every single one of these videos. I got another high-scoring game, okay? 38-31. I got the final score. I think you win this one. You're at home. You're better than this team. They're in a little bit more of a desperate spot than you are, but man, we all know how good Lamar Jackson has been on primetime, and I look for that to continue. So now it's your turn. You heard mine. You guys let me know yours in the comment section down below. Predict it for me. Also, remember, we are live tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So if this is your first time coming across the channel, just come hang out with us tonight. These watch parties are a blast, and I'll see you later.